We've got another dozen or so comics in the horror genre spooking up the shelves today. Yep, it's Wednesday. Remember, This Week in Comics Horror is not a set of reviews, just a list of what you'll find when you head to the shops this week in horror comics, this April 19th, 2023. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. Let's check out This Week in Comics Horror, April 19th, 2023. This week in
Ass, titties, ass and titties.
We have only one lone comic, but Dynamite always makes their covers extra cheesecakey for consumption. This week, everyone from Evil Ernie to Draculina, from Vampirella to Pantha, are bent on Purgatori's destruction, but while she takes a beating and that bikini is stretched to the limit, neither the bikini nor Purgatory are going to break. I'll bet you that. This week in horror comics from the mid-tier, we have quite a few different companies offering up some solid horror titles. Starting with Black Demon Tales, number 1 from Scout Comics. This comic tells some harrowing tales of survival against a giant shark terrorizing the southern coast of Africa. I'll be reviewing Black Demon, the film, very soon, but this book appears to be telling tales inspired by that very movie. Having a monstrous fear of sharks, you'd better believe I'm interested in this little indie book. Archie Horror takes another stab at demonizing one of their famous characters with The Cult of That Wilkin Boy, from Cullen Bunn and Dan Schoening. This one deals with the horrors of fame and fandom set against the rock god who is that Wilkin Boy, and his devoted followers who will do anything he commands. Scary, culty stuff. Black Tape tells the tale of a rock star who passes away and his wife's trepidation to release his final album for fear that it might unleash hell on earth. This horror anthem's third issue is brought to you by Dan Panosian and Dalibor Talajić. Great art in this book. Scott Snyder and his often partner in crime, Jock, delivers new horrors in Book of Evil, released from Comixology. The story apparently has a group of kids being pursued by dark forces through some sort of badlands. I don't know much about it, but if it's from Scott Snyder and Jock, it's gotta be good, so I'm in. While I prefer Something Is Killing the Children, its sister title, House of Slaughter, is still pretty darn good. First off, check out that gnarly cover by Mateusz Manhanini. I love it. I guess I just really like that Erica character who stars in Something Is Killing the Children, and want to experience this world that Tynion has created through her eyes. While I appreciate Tynion's attempt to expand on the world, I have to say I'm only reading this one because I want to know the whole story. It's just hard to repeat a compelling character like Erica, but this book is trying, and I appreciate it for that. Marvel attempts horror comics, and sometimes it even works. Tim Seeley and Sid Kotian pit their team of misunderstood vampires against Captain America in Captain America Unforgiven. Don't let the number 1 on this cover fool you. This is the third team-up book with the Unforgiven as they tour the Marvel Universe and get into lots of trouble with various heroes. And over in Hallows' Eve, Eve donned one of her werewolf masks last issue and bit a guy. Turns out, while wearing a werewolf mask, Eve still is able to pass on the curse of lycanthropy. She still knew it all of this, folks. I like this series, and I want to know where it's going next. It's got cool art, too. Image Comics always has some horror up its sleeve. This week it's got Gunslinger Spawn, number 19, coming out from Spawn's creator, Todd McFarlane, and Uber artist Brett Booth. Man, though, that cover is busy. I am not a fan. It's all capes and chains and spikes and shit. I know all of those are core elements of Spawn, but man, that cover is a mess. I know it's part of a wraparound cover, and I'm sure the Spawn fans will eat it up, but man. And in the 61st issue of The Walking Dead Deluxe, the solicits say that tragedy strikes our group of survivors. But doesn't tragedy strike in every issue of The Walking Dead? Well, at least this time it's in full bloody color, so there's that. Finally, my picks of the week this week are threefold. First, All 8 Eyes from Dark Horse Comics sets the horror in post-9/11 New York, where the already terrified survivors have to deal with 8-legged monsters stalking the streets. This one started out in James Tynion's amazing Razor Blades magazine, and the story continues here from Steve Fawkes and Piotr Kowalski. The next new number one I'm excited about is Terror War from Image Comics. Saladin Ahmed and Dave Acosta bring forth a mix of sci-fi and horror, where beings called terrors pull your worst fears from your noggin and throw them in your face. Who you gonna call? Well, some blue-collar workers to take care of them, in the cheapest way possible, of course. Sounds like something I've heard before, but I still want to give this one a try. Finally, a book I know is going to be good because the last 2 issues were great. Justin Jordan and Bram Revel unleashes HARROWER. It's about an urban legend made real by a small-town cult. In the last 2 issues, this man-monster with blades has wrought havoc on the teens of this town, and I'm sure more havoc will be wrought in this issue as well. I can't wait. Well, that's it for this week's haul. That was 13 horror comics haunting the shelves this week. Surely there's something in there you'll find worth reading. Let me know which ones look good to you down in the comments.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. You're doomed. Live the life that you are meant to be. To live inside